Welcome everybody to this week's Dissecting Design. We're going to be taking a look at what I feel is the criminally underrated Renowned Explorers International Society. This is a very interesting mix of tactical role-playing, roguelike, and just a great example of a lot of unique game systems that came together to create a unique title. Like I said a second ago, this is a game that I think was overlooked by a lot of people. It was one of my favorite games, I think, when this was released back in, 2016, maybe 2015. And the developers are still working on it. There is a rumored third major expansion due out, as well as free mini expansions that have been released. For the purpose of our video this week, we're going to be focusing on the base game. That's the Most Renowned Explorer Challenge. The Emperor's Challenge right over here, this was the second major piece of DLC that was released, and it changes the rules in different ways. But the base game is more than enough to study. I'm going to load up the game now, and we're going to talk about the basic gameplay first. Alright, we're on the tutorial, or the first level of Renowned Explorers, and we're going to talk about the basics of the game here, but there is a lot to cover. So, the story is that we are a group of explorers who are trying to become the most famous in the world, and to do so, we're going to go on a number of expeditions. Each expedition is on a set map, as you can see here, but the events that we're going to run across and what can happen is entirely procedurally generated. I have no idea what we're going to see or what's going to happen. Now, the purpose of going on these expeditions is to find the resources that will help power up our crew with the game's major persistence systems. Now, if you look at from upper left to right, we have gold, status, research, and insight. These are all resources that we will use as we complete expeditions, with these three earned by completing events. Now, what's unique to Renowned Explorers is that there is a live system, and that's resolve. Every time a crew member loses spirit or certain bad events, we lose resolve. If it runs out, it is game over. Now, what's keeping us from exploring these places is our food or supplies. If we run out of supplies and we do not reach the end point, we will suffer a massive debuff each turn. And that's your timer to let you know that you have to move on. Besides that, we have research, which will play a role later on in our next part. Each crew member is a unique character, coming with 4 abilities, as well as a 5th one that gets unlocked once they level up. What's interesting about Renowned Explorers is that everybody makes use of 2 different attack and defense. You have physical attack, physical defense, speech attack, and speech defense. And that will play a role once we show off combat in a second. These perks are used for events, which you will see most likely in this part. So right now we have to decide where to go, this being our ultimate destination. There's the cost and supplies, so I'm going to go over here. And now we have a choice to make. If we do this, we'll collect a collect token, which will be translated into gold when the expedition is over. But let's fight them. Now, combat in Renowned Explorers is a mix of tactical strategy as well as controlling the emotion of the field. Right here, this is telling us that we can get a bonus in campaign tokens if we beat this aggressive. So, here's how things work. The attacks that we use on our party will determine the mood of the battle. This is the enemy's mood right here. Depending upon what we use will affect what the enemy will change. So, they are aggressive right now. If we hit them with devious style attacks, we'll gain an advantage. If we hit them with friendly attacks, they will gain the advantage. And this will affect their actual stats and how much damage they do. We can also impact characters' moods, which can affect their own abilities. For instance, he can enrage a target, making them weaker to physical attacks. He could impress the target, making them weaker to speech attacks. So let's see what we got here. Now again, we have our stats. So we're going to try to beat this aggressively. So what do we have? Alright, so... and you can see where our attack range is. Not bad, but we can actually set this up for more. We'll move him over here. Can I get a hit? Good. So now he's angry. The mood has shifted towards provocative, meaning we now gain an advantage. But what we really want to do is get to aggressive. Go fisticuffs. Now, because we did an attack that was aggressive, we gain a point. But if we defeat the enemy, we get 2 points. Now, I'm going to move her over here. And this will switch us back to aggressive. Alright. So you can see how the aggressive bar is growing there. And now we're all out of actions for this turn, so we'll switch over. Oh. So now, let's see. I'm going to let our friend Harry here just go for a shot. And you can see the opponent's mood along the bottom there. We can impact it like so. And we have 6 points in that. So what I can do is we're going to hit him with a friendly attack, because she's better at speech. And should still stay as aggressive. There we go. So you basically can kill enemies or can psychologically destroy them. It all depends on your strategy here. So because we did that and won, we got a campaign token. Now, the value of these tokens, very important, are affected by the stats of our crew. And as we get treasures and additional bonuses, these tokens will go up in value. Now, this is a freebie right here. The challenges correspond to different perks. That's what you see along the left there. So that is a Tactician, Beguiler, or Quick Thinker. Do we have anyone who can do that? No. But it is a freebie, so it does not cost me anything to go here. Alright. Now they're going to give us an event to try. And they're basically going to be corresponding to strength, searching, or some kind of other tactic. Let's see. So because he is a quick thinker, or because of his high speech, he has a 55% chance to succeed. Now we can come over here. We have a 10% because nobody here is an athlete. So we don't want to do that. Now can we intimidate? Oh, looks like we got something for it. And we got a treasure. Treasures can be assigned a different bonus. And some of them will also affect your crew members. So I'm going to choose Treasure Hunt because if we come over here, Harry's special captain's perk, he gets additional gold from treasure hunts. So, let's go over here. And I'm going to take the hit. And we got additional campaign tokens. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. And I'm running out, so I better start to get a little bit closer here. Nice. Now there's nothing here, but there sometimes could be a random event. I'm going to go over here and get some more supplies. Perfect. And this was a new feature that was added in the first expansion. A campfire story allows us to boost our crew or gain additional resources. So, let's see. So when they say a level 2 diplomat, how it works is each perk has numerous abilities that are associated to it. That's the pompous, that's the cooking. As we get more perks that are related to that main one, that's what the level is. So if they say a level 2 diplomat, we need 1 additional point there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep this one. I don't want this. I don't want this. Oh, I do want this. I'm going to use this one. So now everybody's going to get a free perk. And you only go on 1 campfire story per expedition. Alright, so we have another group of baddies. I'm hoping we get a level up. Uh-oh, there's a lot of them here. Now this guy is weak to speech, as you can see by a 20% deduction in defense. So let's go for it. These two are glass cannon types, while Charles is our tank. Alright, I am going to punch him in the face. I love the art style, too. Now we can see what his movement range is. So I'm going to move him. Let's move Harry here. And let's go. I'm going to go for 1 hit. Now, if I would have killed him with a Devious, it would lower our... I believe it will lower a point here. But I need to do more aggression if we want to get that bonus. Now he's going to hit Harry. Ooh. Uh-oh. This could be a knockout. Ooh, we got lucky there. So I'm going to let her finish him off. Ooh, that ain't good. We'll move Harry over here to defend. Let's see. Snipe him down. And Charles, we are at 5-3. Let's do this. Oh, and we got a crit. Got some more bonuses. Good. Now we'll come over here. And now we're going to fight some sheep. And sheep are actually dangerous in this game, because they can hit us with powerful speech attacks. Alright, so now for this one, we want to beat this either devious or friendly. Let's see. going to... Let's move Charles over here. How do we want to do this? Alright, I'm going to do this. Now, we're at a disadvantage right now. So what I'm going to do is try and bring it back to friendly. And one more. So now it's even, but one aggression attack will switch it back. Oh, he's so happy. Alright. We will finish him off. Kill him with kindness, right? And we got science tokens for that. Now, these last ones should be pretty uneventful. We got an entourage, which we'll talk more about in the next section. Like that. Okay, so 1, 0. Alright. So, oh, and we got a level up. Perfect. Whenever characters level up, they will choose from one of 2 improvements. They'll also gain an ability or some special bonus. So we could give him the etiquette perk, which we already have, so it makes no sense. So we'll give him a level 2 survivalist. At the same time, he will unlock his new power here, Group Insult, which, as you can see, is designed around pulling aggro. We'll go to her next. So she can either get another point in Archaeologist or another point in Etiquette, which we already gave her. So choice is clear. She unlocks Cute Stare that silences all targets. So that could be very useful to stop enemies from attacking. And then for him, we can get another point in Rogue or a Beguiler of the Storyteller. I'm going to go for the addition here. And Harry gains his Piercing Shot. So from here, we're going to make it to the main event of the island. Here's our bad guy, Ravilu, who's, well, essentially our rival here. And now we're at the boss. Every expedition ends with a boss fight. For this one, there is a good way to win, there's a bad way to win, and a neutral. If we win the good way, we will usually gain a permanent boost. So to do that, we need to beat him deviously. So let's see how we can do this. There we go, take that. Again, these two are very powerful with speech attacks, which is why they're doing a lot of damage to them. You can tell once again by the values down here. Now let's see. Can he do anything? His AoE is not powerful enough yet. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to just back up. Because leaving a guy out to be mobbed is not a wise strategy in this game. Alright. Another thing to keep in mind is that many boss and normal enemies will gain special powers if the mood is tilted towards them. That yellow field you see is a healing field, which can randomly appear on the map. So what I'm going to do this turn is I am going to boost our friend up here and make him happy. While he's happy, his speech power will also grow, as you can see. Let's see. Can we hit them all? No. But maybe we don't have to. Let's do this. I'll move him down here. Oh, no. Let's see. There we go. Now, they're all taunted to focus on Charles here. Another thing I didn't mention. During boss fights, there's also the chance that additional enemies will join. The battle is not over until the boss is beaten. Oh good, he missed. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I want to adjust his speech defense. By making him impress, he is now weak to speech-based attacks. So I am going to do... Well, punch this guy all the way. We'll move her over here. And this should be a kill. Yes, it is. And again, the reason why it's a kill, and this is very important to understand about Renowned Explorers and how the combat works, is that this guy right now, if we come... I just want to exit out of there. His speech defense has been reduced because I changed his emotion to impress. Her speech attack is one of our highest. So we just combine 1 and 1 make 2 here, and this will get us the, I guess not kill, just psychological destruction. There we go. And because we beat him the good way, everybody gains a permanent boost. And permanent bonuses in Renowned Explorers is very important, especially when we get to the next section. So now we have each one of these treasures will basically correspond to one specific aspect. We have more of an athletic or physical bonus, a scientific or research bonus, or a social diplomatic one. I'm going to go for this one because our crew is basically a bunch of speech-based people. And as you can see, Charles has a 95% chance to succeed. It's time for the wheel. I have lost a 95% chance in this game, by the way, folks. So by doing that, we are going to get a treasure. And the treasure is the Sword of Justice. Wow. So, here's what happens with these treasures. You have unique treasures, or unique bonuses related to the legendary effect, and then you have those related to where we find it. So, these are very interesting. And this is actually a horrible treasure to get. I wanted the social one for this crew. I'm going to take this. And now what's going to happen is it's going to calculate everything that I earned based on the tokens we got. Give me that gold. And there we go. So, from here, we're going to move on to the next part, because while there is certainly a lot to do on an expedition, Renowned Explorers features a very involved persistence system. So let's talk about that one. If Renowned Explorers was just about the tactical RPG and the map exploration, it would still be a great game. But what really takes it over the edge is the persistence that's involved after each expedition. So this screen, players of the game are probably well acquainted to by now. But this is where we basically manage our crew and perform very important and game-changing choices. So there's actually a lot to go over here. First off, as you can see, our actual resources here have been transformed based on the tokens we found. So the first thing we're going to do is look at research. The research system, or the research trees, are used to unlock specific bonuses that can be tailored to whatever your crew is and what strategy you're going for. By unlocking it, you gain a bonus, and then there are bonuses for maximizing it. So you can see here. And again, the cost of research, the cost of research itself gets progressively more expensive. So unless you really build yourself around a research-minded crew, you're not going to get everything. And instead, you want to try and focus on specific strategies. So this one is for focusing on a specific attitude. And one thing that we haven't brought up yet that I want to call your attention to is how much the game is about ramping up in terms of the stuff you're going to get and how it applies to subsequent expeditions. So for this one, we do not have an engineer. We do have an archaeologist though. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to give it to I will give it to her. She will learn an archaeologist. And yeah, I gotta make sure not to choose one that she already has. So royalty, history, and lessons. None of those we have, so I'm gonna just give it to her. And now we can go up these specific ones with more costs. So let's go right here. And that's that. But don't worry, folks, we're not done yet. There's still more on this thing we're going to look at. So down here are jobs. Jobs are a way of spending insight to gain additional resources. Depending upon who we choose and their related stats or perks, will determine what we get out of it. This is basically a way of getting more or getting resources that you need, let's say to top off or unlock something before the next expedition. Now down here we have shops. The first shop, this unlocks stuff via gold. Items in Renowned Explorers come in a few key traits. First, you have trinkets. They will change or add to a character. They can make them stronger against certain attacks. They can unlock perks and other things. And again, tying the trinket to the character will make life very easy for you. Down here, we have gear. Or this is offensive gear. This will raise different attack or speech powers. And of course, it gets progressively more expensive. The idea, once again, is you want to maximize what the character is good at. And then armor, the same way. Additional shops become available as time goes on, and you can upgrade a shop by spending gold. So if you want to directly upgrade your character, you're going to need a lot of gold. And that's what scouts are good at. Now, if we come over here, we have the entourages. These characters will, by spending status, will provide a bonus to your tokens, as you can see, or a specialist can provide something special as well. But of course, they cost a lot more, and they are randomly chosen from the pool for you to get. So as you can see, we got stuff like this. Now, another thing to point out, and I think this is the last thing for this section, are the actual expeditions. An actual play of Renowned Explorers is 5 expeditions long. You choose the one that you want to do, and then more become unlocked. The number of stars determines the difficulty and rewards that you get. Now, here's something that's very interesting that Renowned Explorers does compared to other roguelikes. In most games that are built around fixed maps, you are forced to basically plan for everything, because you know that one map deals with, let's say, stealth, another map deals with combat. You have to be able to do all of it. In Renowned Explorers, it's not possible to be a master of none and still beat this game. So each group of expeditions that gets unlocked is tailored towards specific builds and crews. So this one is built for friendly crews. This one is built for aggressive. And by doing it this way, it allows you to make the maps or make your time easier. But more importantly, this will punish you if you take the wrong crew. If I take a crew of aggressive people to the friendly, or let me see, I think it was Mali. There it is, a friendly area, they are going to get wrecked. And you have to pay attention to this. But all this, and then every time we beat an expedition, we have to do this again. And once we get to the final expedition, or get to rank or round 5, that will unlock one of 2 quote-unquote final expeditions that are the hardest, but have the most to gain. And besides that, we can also unlock new shops that add different items, more specialists, and it just keeps going and going and going. And we are just barely scratching the surface of the game. And that's kind of one of the, I guess, drawbacks of Renowned Explorers that we haven't talked about yet. And for our next part, we're going to see if there may be a little too much variance in this game. But I'll see you all in a second. While I may love Renowned Explorers, and it is one of my favorite games of all time, it is a harsh mistress. And there is a lot that has to go right for you to have any chance of winning. And this game, no pun intended, I think the only one that rivals it in terms of the sheer amount of variance between plays would be something like The Binding of Isaac. And this is both to the positives and detriments of Renowned Explorers. Now, this is a scene we haven't, or a screen we haven't looked at yet. This is where you set your crew up. As you can see, we have the 4 classes. Each character, again, has a unique captain's perk right here. And you can look at their stats on the right. Basically, whoever you choose as your captain is going to be how you're going to determine what your other 2 crew members will be. So, for instance, she is a glass cannon, so she's really good against excited or saddened people. So, because of that, there are some people who are good like that. They are built around friendly abilities. Let's see. He's good at excite. He can do a target like that. Padrino over here has an AoE positive ability. And that's why they said that he's good with her. Typically, you want everybody to sync to 2 different strategies. So, devious and friendly, devious aggressive. There should be a friendly and aggressive. There he is, someone like that as well. And again, everybody has different perks along with it, and what they can and can't do. And you can build your party however you see fit, But, again, you gotta be careful, as picking the wrong person can lead to a party just not working all that well. And because of that, let's count the number of ways that, or number of things that have to go right in order for you to beat an entire campaign of Renowned Explorers. First, you need to pick the right crew members and the right captain. You need to have the events that show up during expeditions work for you. You have to pick the right expeditions that are tailored suited to your party. You have to get the right research upgrades that correspond. You have to get the right specialists and entourage. You have to hope that during the actual expeditions that the RNG works in your favor for that. And you also have to make sure that you're getting the right treasures, which, if we come over here really fast, you can see all the treasures I've unlocked so far. And not only that, but you also have to hope that you can beat the various combat situations. So that's a lot that has to happen in order for you to win. And this is one of the things that can be very frustrating to play about with Renowned Explorers. You can beat the first 4 of your expeditions and do it single-handedly, do it very easily, get all the resources, and then due to bad luck on the 5th one, you still lose. Or the bosses just wipe you because you didn't get enough combat advantages and specializations. Or the flip side, you could be kicking butt in combat, nobody can stop you, but then you get very unlucky. And during the events, you run out of food, you start losing your resolve, and you lose that way. So, this is the thing that's very interesting about the Emperor's Challenge. You have goals you have to go for. And then everybody's kind of ranked for it, with daily and weekly. But, again, so much about Renowned Explorers, there's a lot to learn about this game that the game does not do, I think, a good job, in my opinion, of teaching the player all the complexities at work. And as you saw over the last part of the game, a lot of the progression of Renowned Explorers is built on ramp. Either ramping up because you're doing well, or ramping down because of bad luck or bad planning, or a combination of the two. You do really well on a map, get all the resources, it means you can spend more after the expedition is over to improve your party, so you can do better on the next expedition, and repeat. You don't do well, or you just barely make do, and that can extrapolate out into the other episodes, or it can reverberate out into the other expeditions, and then you're not really able to compensate. Now, to be fair, the game doesn't really give you a super reward or something amazing for beating it, but it does kind of suck that you can have really good or really bad runs, and some of it is out of your hands, even if you know it or not. And like I said, it takes a lot to figure out the right crew members. And I even did a video a few years ago trying to break down every captain and what was the best crew to take with it. I mean, every system of this game is advanced. And if you get it and everything works perfectly, you can steamroll this game. I've had a few games like that during my peak where I just dominated. If we look at the leaderboard over here, some of my friends have gotten some insane scores at the end of their play. I thought I was doing well at 5,000, someone got almost to 10. And I wonder if I can look, I don't think I can look at anyone that's not on my friends list, unfortunately. But yeah, there are competitions and people go against each other to see who can get the best score. And to do that, it really takes a lot there. But with that said, we have one final part. I want to discuss my final thoughts next, and we'll wrap it up then. Alright, time to finish things up. Right now I'm on the Mali expedition, and each expedition has its own unique theme and situations to deal with, which again adds to that variance. But as a very fun point, before I turned the recorder back on, I actually lost an 85% chance to win, and I won an account at a 55% chance. So, again, you just never know what you're going to get here. So, let's see what happens. But, while this is rolling, again, Renowned Explorers is a game that I wish it would have done a lot better than it did. It has a lot of unique tricks to it, but it can be very hard for, I think, newcomers to learn. And sometimes you just get very unlucky in terms of how people are being approached. Let's see, can we get another 50? Look at that. Isn't that great? But this is a great example of a game where every system was designed to work in harmony with each other. There's nothing here that I would say relates to another video game that I've played, and that is certainly impressive. It reminds me a lot of another favorite of mine, and that was The World Ends With You. Uh-oh. There I could lose a resolve point. We're not lucky. I'm going to lose it, folks. Oh. Wasn't that nice? But Renowned Explorers, with all its various systems, makes it a game that has a lot of variance to it. And again, variance can be both good and bad. If a game is too variant, or there's too much there, then it can be a situation where anything and everything can happen, and I have no control over it. But if there isn't enough, then the game becomes repetitive. And I think Renowned Explorers definitely falls in the middle there. It's certainly not a repetitive game, despite having fixed expeditions and characters. But there's still plenty of variance in terms of how things can play out. I don't know what's going to happen when we do these events. I don't know what my RNG roll is going to be. And of course, I don't know how these events are going to get these tokens I'm going to use. Let's see. So, because she's a beguiler, she gains a special advantage. But I think you still have to fight. And again, because we're friendly, this should be a pretty good advantage for me. Except he's lost a lot of his bonus. And characters also have weaknesses to certain emotions as well. So this will be a one-hit KO. Let's see. Can I actually hit this guy? I don't think I can. So I will just deal with his friend. But despite not being a pure roguelike, Renowned Explorer certainly carries a lot of those elements to it. And we'll just stab this guy. Talk nice of the first two, stab him. That's how we do things around here, folks. But, to wrap things up, this is a game that took a lot of work to get to this point. When I spoke with Adrian, who I think was who's the owner of Abbey Games, he said they spent a good year just trying to figure out what they wanted the game to be, and that they even did a redesign as well. And that is very interesting to see what this game could have been if they went another route. Now, for those of you watching who have played Renowned Explorers, I'm curious what your thoughts are in terms of just how varied these runs can play out. Because with the games that I've played, I've had matches where everything goes swimmingly, then I lose at the end. And like I said earlier, I've had those amazing wins. But if you haven't played Renowned Explorers and are looking for a game that is different from everything else, definitely check it out. Let's see. I'm actually out of enough food. Let's see what happens here. Maybe we can get lucky. I don't know. Oh, we have a special event right there. Did we get food? Oh. Can never get lucky with some of these events. But you're about to see what happens when you run out of food. There we go. So something bad really happens. And again, that's how the game kind of... Look at all those debuffs he has, by the way. That's how the game kind of pushes you along and kind of punishes you if you stay too long in a specific area. And you can see it happen again. Oof. He is just dying. But let's wrap it up here. So, thank you so much for watching this Dissecting Design on Renowned Explorers. I'm just going to abandon because I kind of sucked. I was just playing around for it. But if you're new, be sure to check back for daily discussions on game design here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games, with more Dissecting Design pieces usually going up each Monday. Like I said, definitely check out Renowned Explorers if this video made you interested. There are, from what I heard, plans for one more expansion. So I'm definitely excited about that. And if you guys want to see this game on the stream, let me know. But thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. Before we get to the credits, I just want to give a quick shout out to the fans and supporters over on patreon.com/gwbicer. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check back around 10 Eastern for regular streaming. If you'd like to suggest games for me to cover or topics to talk about, let me know in the comments below. For a collection of my writings as well as weekly podcasts on design, check out game-wisdom.com. To support the Game Wisdom Patreon, you can find us on there on patreon.com/gwbicer. $1 will get you into our private Discord channel where we talk game topics and more. $5 will get you voting privileges for any major event, including the Saturday Night Grab Bag, Patreon-funded goals, and more. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoy more videos here on the Game Wisdom YouTube channel.